Hey guys, and welcome back. I'm gonna lower my chair a little. Is that better? I feel like that's better. Maybe. Might not be better, but it could be better. Who knows what's better? I don't even know. So what, my chair is so squeaky. It is really bad. Okay, so welcome to another Get Ready With Me in History. I had this whole thing recorded and I watched it back. I don't know what the hell is going on with my corset today. It's being stupid. The only problem when you wear a corset and you sit down is your clothing all shifts, so now you can see the under thing. Okay, so here's the thing about wearing corsetry. If you're gonna wear corsets, you need to wear something underneath it to keep the corset clean. 2, it's just more comfortable that way. 3, be prepared that your clothes are gonna shift when you sit down. Don't lean back. If you eat too much, lean forward to take the pressure off. And just an FYI, going to the bathroom is sometimes a pain in the butt because of underwear. That's just how it is. I mean, you know. So, today, we are going to talk about we're gonna my brain is everywhere today. It's everywhere. It's everywhere today. It's everywhere. My kid has my iPad, so it's like I'm going off memory today. So yeah, I did this whole thing about the Apis bowl, and I was happy about it, but then I watched it back and I was like, oh my god, it was just a nightmare. It was a hot mess. So I decided to refilm it. I have my new setup, so that's better. I still need to finish changing that wall. I'm gonna primer it and change the color. Yes, I'm indecisive. So, today we're gonna talk about the Apis bowl and the twins again. The only differences between this time and last time is it's not gonna suck, hopefully, as bad. She says, knowing that it very well could be. I should have wet the sponge. Oh well. So, let's get started, shall we? By the way, if you're curious about what products I'm using, I will list them in the description. That's about it. I'm not going to tell you what products I'm using exactly, although if you see them, you probably will see which ones I may be using. But anyway, what I do here is I get ready, I do my makeup, all that jazz. If you're interested in, yeah, basically that's it. So if you like history, like makeup, you like all that crap, and you love me rambling, which you probably don't, but if you do, hit that like and subscribe button. And okay, so here we go. So our story is really an obscure one. It's kind of all over the place because some people say we're not sure if this is actually something that did happen. Other people say because of the accounts that were written. It's possible you may hear screaming in the background. Everybody's home and people are playing Xbox. I'm in here filming. My Whittle has my iPad, which has all my notes on it again, which is fine because I already know this story kind of by heart now because I've filmed it so many frickin' times. So let's get started. So our story is something that is kind of shrouded in a little bit of mystery in a way. Basically, it's about these 2 girls who were twins, and they had a really hard life. Life back in 153 BC wasn't exactly a walk in the park, but for these 2 twins, it wasn't going to be, Disneyland, let's just say. It could have been a lot easier if the certain chain of events that I'm going to talk about didn't happen, but we'll get into that. So our story begins in 153 BC. The two girls, named Tawe or Tage, depending on what source you read, and her twin sister Taos, are living at home with their father, who's a wealthy businessman in Memphis, not Tennessee. Tennessee wasn't a thing then. And along with their mother. Now I couldn't find the father's name, but I've seen somewhere the mother's name is like Nepheris or something. Nepheris. I keep thinking the name just does not want to stick with my head. And she also had a son, who I don't know his name either, because I couldn't find it. I'm sure it's there, and I probably just skimmed over it like meh. Hey, dude. Say hi.
Hey, dude.
Okay, hey, dude.
Hey,
Hey, dude. It's got a mind of its own today. So anyway, don't touch it, please don't fall. So anyway, hi. Anyway. So anyway, these two girls, they lived in Memphis and they were living the life of luxury with their family. They had money. They were very well off. The father provided for them very well by, being a wealthy merchant in ancient times. That's hard to do. I guess maybe not. Okay, let's find Mommy a brush to use. Anyway, so he did pretty well for them, so they lived in luxury. However, things were not so good with the mother, I guess. She decided to have an affair with a Macedonian soldier named Philpos. Yeah, Phil. So Phil, we'll just call him Phil. I'm horrible with these names today. So Phil and her would have an affair. And I guess she was tired of being married. Now, in ancient Egypt before Alexander the Great's time, I know that women could get divorced. They had a lot of rights. In fact, a lot of the Greeks, when they came to Egypt, mentioned that it was weird that women had as many rights as some of the men. And that's just how it was. Women were considered the queen of the household, and they could own property, they could own slaves, they could divorce, and basically it was like modern, a lot of modern equality and stuff. If they got divorced, I think things were pretty much split, or the wife would get it all, depending on what happened. So anyway, she got tired of being married. And she had this affair with him. Now, she and her lover decided to take things into their own hands, and they tried to kill the girls' father. They tried to murder him. The first murder attempt did not go through. It didn't go as planned, and they failed. So he got away. He was able to live. So he got away, which wasn't good for them. And I guess at that point, after the murder attempt, he got sick of it and he decided to jump ship and go to one of their homes in Middle Egypt, leaving the girls with their mother, not a good idea, and their stepbrother. Now, in some records, it says that he eventually was murdered by them. In other records, it just said that he died in his other home of a broken heart. The girls, the twin girls, Tawe and Taos, said that he was murdered. So in letters that they wrote to Pharaoh, they had mentioned that he was murdered. They believed he was murdered. He didn't just die of a broken heart. I mean, that's some serious depression right there. But anyway, they said that he was murdered. And so after he died, the mother, who now has all the money, decides to go ahead and sell the family home out from underneath the 2 girls, and she kicked them to the curb. Her own freaking daughters. Goodbye, off with you. Toodles, don't care. She was done with them. They're your own daughters. As a mother, I couldn't do it. I have no idea. But it just shows you that things back then could be just as bad as things are now, because there's women out there who, you know, abandon their kids too. It's not always the dad. Sometimes the moms do it too. But in this case, they had no one. They had nobody to go to, so they ended up living on the streets. And it didn't really say how long these 2 were living on the streets, but they were living in complete poverty. They only had what they had on them. They didn't have anything else. And it was really just a horrible situation. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to do my concealer first or my makeup or my foundation. My foundation has tape on it. I got a new one. My whittle list broke my last foundation. That looks yellow. That looks yellow to me. But this was the one I had before. We'll see if it's horrible or not. Why is it yellow this time? Oh, maybe it's not. Okay, it's just the light. Okay, so anyway, so the girls are living on the streets. They're starving. They have no money. So then they remembered that their father had a friend at the temple over by Saqqara, and his name was Philippaus. What is with the Philips? Philippius, the second Phil, the father's friend Phil, the good Phil. We'll call him Good Phil. So Good Phil lives there. He's basically kind of a shut-in. He is a dream decoder, basically their form of therapy. You know, he would decode people's dreams. He would, write them all down. He would tell them the meaning, what they should do, give advice, listen to people talk. Dream decoding back then was a huge thing. I still need to fix this part of my wig. Sorry. I put it on, I've been meaning to finish fixing it, but I just got lazy. So by the next time, it will be fixed. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, if I can keep my hair down, I give up with this thing. Okay, so anyway, so he, does all this stuff. And again, dream decoding back then, in this time period during ancient, in the Ptolemaic reign, is very, very popular. So everybody gets dream decoding. I mean, I think it's been popular in Egypt before that, but it really started to gain traction. Just like the Apis bull cult really got its wings during the Ptolemy's reign. It used to just be like a symbol of fertility and stuff like that. It would be like a small little thing that they would worship, but then all of a sudden Ptolemy's like, I need to bring in some gods in here to make the Greeks happy, to make the Egyptians happy. So the Apis bull, yeah, we'll just do that. So then it became like a yearly thing. It was a festival that lasted for 7 days, and the bull would be mummified, and they would worship the bull for good luck, prosperity, fertility, all that stuff. It was a big to-do. So then, so they found the way to get to the friend of the father. So they went out and they met with him, and they told him what was going on and they needed some help. And so he took them in. He's like, okay, yeah, I'll take you guys in for now. We'll see what we're gonna do. And he would listen to their dreams and stuff while they were there, because apparently they had some pretty vivid dreams. And if the writings that he did about them, I keep adjusting my hair so you don't see that I haven't finished fixing this. I don't use wig glue because I'm allergic, and this concealer is really light, and I should have this sponge wet, but I'm a hot mess today. My son adjusted my Anne Boleyn thing I had going on here. I think this concealer is a little light. I probably should have used my other one, but too late now. I'll just go over it. This will be the lightener, and then I'll go over it with the other one. This is like good for under the eyes, not the chin. Ooh, that was a big mistake. Anyway, so he would record their dreams and stuff, and they would tell him what their problems were. In fact, he would be the one that actually wrote the letter for them to Pharaoh Ptolemy, and tried to get them help with the Pharaoh. This guy went over and beyond trying to help these girls. He really, truly wanted to help them. However, he knew that he could not support them on his own. He knew they needed their own job. They could stay with him, but they needed to earn their own keep. So he started thinking, like, what will become of these girls? What will become of us? Like, that kind of stuff. Let me adjust my hair. I need to adjust my elvish hair. Anyway, so you can see it. I'm a hot mess today. Okay, so he was like, what will become of these girls? This is a lot of concealer. And so he remembered that, you know, these two girls, maybe the temples could take them in. So he reached out to the temples and talked to the priests and the priestesses about, you know, what they could do. And they said that they were needing 2 new acolytes for the Apis Bowl. And because the girls were virgin twins, they fit the bill. So the girls were excited. They got their new job. They were getting a paycheck, which back then was like a token or 2. They would each get a token each, or a token or 2 each. And I mean, this is 154 BC, so it's not like they were given a paycheck that they could go cash at the local grocery store or go to Wells Fargo and be like, hey, I want to cash in my check. Wasn't like that. So they got their check, and then they also were given an advance, like a check that would be something that they could cash in after the Apis Bowl died. So it was like a bond almost, is what I recall. It was like something like that. And they could cash that in once the, this is a shit job. Once the Apis Bowl was dead and mummified and all that stuff, they could cash in this promissory note. No, that's not right. I'm thinking of real estate. But it's kind of, you know, it's a bond. Anyway, it's a promise to pay them. It's a promise to pay them once the Apis Bowl is dead. So the Apis Bowl is mummified, all that stuff, then they'll be able to cash in on this check, right? They'll be able to cash in, get their money, and then they'll be set. They get the weekly tokens. The other payment is like a weekly thing, so it's not too bad. And the girls didn't need a lot of money. They just needed something for food and that kind of stuff, which they got with this check. Excuse me 1 second, I gotta find my powder. That didn't take long. Okay. I'm back. Okay, so what was I gonna say? Oh yeah. Goober moment. So good things are starting to happen for these 2 lovely ladies. And by the way, Phil, the good Phil, also had a brother. We're gonna call him A because I can never pronounce his name. You'll see it blip across the screen. But anyway, he was kind of an atheist. He made quite a few enemies with that because they couldn't understand, people around the area couldn't understand why he didn't really believe in the gods as much. He was very like, yeah, they're cruel, there's nothing going on. But anyway, enough about him. So anyway, that was just a side note, because he helps them a lot too. So anyway, things are going good for the girls. You know, they've got money coming in, they're able to afford food, and you know, they've got clothing from the temple, they have jobs, they're happy. Things are starting to finally look up for these 2. Yay! Just like most things, all good things come to an end, and unfortunately for them, they're about to get shit on. So it's, you know, the time of the festival is going on. Everybody is at Saqqara. I also believe the temple's name was also Serphem. That name just keeps popping in my head. I'm sure that's also what it's called too. But anyway, so everybody is now at the temple, the temples, and they're, you know, celebrating the life of the bull. They're parading through the streets. They have this procession, and at the procession, here comes the bull. Here comes the two twins who are symbolizing Nephthys and Isis. That is their role, is to symbolize the two goddesses, Nephthys and Isis. That is their jobs as the acolytes, is to be the embodiment of the two twin sister goddesses. Nephthys and Isis were twins. So, twins have a big part in a lot of ancient religion. So anyway, so the girls are there, and guess who also is there? Mommy Dearest is there. Mommy is there, and Mommy sees them. So Mommy sends her son, because I think she figured out where they were, because she knew that her husband, I think ex-husband, dead husband, late husband, was, you know, had a friend there. So she's like, okay, go find out where they live and see what they have. Whatever they have is mine, so bring it to me. So the bastard did. So he went and he took all their money. He took everything that they had money-wise. They took it all. From the rest of the tokens, whatever pocket change that they had, to that really nice advancement, that check that they had, that they were gonna, holy highlighter, that they were going to cash in now that the bull was dead, you know, because it was at 70 days. After 70 days, they could cash in the bull check thing. The promise that they could be paid for that. Now I have to even this crap up. Ew, Stephanie, that's horrible. Anyway, so they could cash that in, right? So he took it all. He took everything from these two, all their money, everything, only leaving broken pots and pots, not pans, they didn't have pans, but he left like broken stuff, I'm sure. So he left that. That's nice of you. Welcome, brother. Steal all my crap. So he stole everything and he took it back to their mother, and she acted like it was hers. The bitch. I probably shouldn't swear so much, but this story actually kind of makes me mad. As a mom, I could never do that to my kids. But it just shows you that no matter what century we're in, crappy parents are going to be crappy parents. You know? So after this had happened, the girls had had enough. So they went to Goodfill and Mr. A. They went to Goodfill and Mr. A. and they said, we're done with this. Can you please write a letter to Pharaoh Ptolemy and ask him for his help? He has to help us. We need the help. Please, please, please write him a letter. So the girls had Goodfill write them this letter. Write the Pharaoh this letter. You know, begging for the Pharaoh's help. Oh, God, no. Anyway, so... And then Pharaoh Ptolemy said, yes, I'll help you guys out. Yay! And everybody lived happily ever after. That actually didn't happen. He never responded. We don't even know if he actually got the note. It's kind of naive for them to think that he would answer. That he would be like, oh, let me help you, you two girls that I don't know. You know, what am I not gonna, I'm not gonna get anything out of this. He probably didn't even receive it. You know, he has people that, you know, weed that stuff out for him, I'm sure. And he was probably like, why the heck do I need to do anything for you? I don't know you guys. I don't know you from a hole in the wall. So nothing became of it. So basically, Mommy Dearest got away with everything. She got away with potentially murder. She got away with stealing all their money. I should do my eyebrows, but I don't care. It's Sunday. She got away with everything. Everything. And they got nothing. So what happened to them? They kind of disappeared. Some, people think that they stayed at the temple. I personally believe they probably just stayed at the temple and just kept to themselves and just were like, we can't trust anyone. Or they just left and went somewhere else. I think they just stayed at the temple. But, the one brother, Mr. A, was constantly worrying about what would happen to one of the twin sisters, Taos, I think it was, he had feelings for, but she never reciprocated them back to him. So nothing more was said about that. He was worried about them, and he was worried about what would become of them. But again, nothing was written after that. We don't know what happened to them afterwards. Good Phil kept doing his dream decoding. He went back to work. He continued doing his job and decoding dreams and stuff like that. So how do we know this happened? So in the 1820s, an archaeologist or an Egyptologist, I think was it Howard Carter? It was one of them. Anyway, stumbled upon these notes inside of a jar at Saqqara. That's how we know this happened. Because of the amount of detailed notes, and they think that this happened because it was so personal, so well written, so detailed. I mean, I've read some of these notes and they're just like the dreams these girls had was about their mother on a riverbank and all this crazy stuff, and it was just a lot of just a lot. This guy was a note taker, but we don't know what happened to them. But how we know about this is because of those notes, and it gave us a glimpse into daily life during the Ptolemaic reign, during this kind of stuff. It also gave us a deeper look at the Apis bull cult and stuff like that. And I'm spinning in my chair a lot. But I mean, I'm not putting lipstick on because I have a scab on my lip, which is fun. Yeah, anyway, so that's it. That's it. That's it. I wish I had a better ending. I wish I could say, oh, and they lived happily ever after, the end. Oh, joy to the world. The gods be praised. They lived a happy life afterwards. I have no idea what happened. And like I said, we probably, let me fucking fix this. Okay, there. And we probably never will. I mean, how can we? They're dead. Like Grandma Fa would say. What good are they? They're dead. Ah! My ear is back here somewhere. Oh, there. There's a lot of hair. I would choose like the thickest wig because I don't actually have thick hair, and I'm like, I want it. And now I'm like, oh, I'm suffering. Okay, until I can get those edges fixed. You guys are watching me brush my hair now. So anyway, so that is the depressing story. I guess, yeah, it's a depressing story. That's the squeakiest chair in all the land, right? There we go. So that's the story of the twins and the Apis bull. And I wish I had a better ending for it, like I said, but I don't. On my blog, I'll have everything as well as links to the documentation. I'll link that into the description as well, but there'll probably be a more detailed description of the Apis bull because I don't want to bore you. Like, let's talk about it because then I could get onto a tangent, and we don't want that because that's boring. Maybe. I don't know. But would you like that? So, that's the story of the twins and the Apis bull again. I'm saying it again. sad situation. And it just, you know, like I said, it shows you that no matter what century you're in, no matter what time period, crappy people are going to be crappy people. And sometimes some parents suck. It's sad. It just, I could never do that to my kids. I never, you know, sad. And I think part of the problem is that the mother was jealous, because I did read that the father doted on the two girls a lot. He loved them so much. He did everything for them. And I think maybe she was jealous that they were getting all this attention, jealous that they were the apple of his eye and the attention wasn't on her. That kind of stuff. Very narcissistic. And maybe that's why she also was like, I'm having an affair because you're not giving me the attention. You're giving it all to my kids, which is shit. Whole situation was crap. Damn. But anyway, that's the story of the Apis Bowl. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next Wednesday.